Good afternoon and welcome to another video. Today is finally the day that the Subaru gets back on the road. I've got Tyler here to help me out, but we're going to be swapping the power steering pump and hopefully get rid of this awful whine and drag on the steering wheel so that I can get this thing back to being my daily driver and the Corvette can sit nice in its home here in the garage when the weather's bad. Since the winter's coming and I know the snow's coming with it, I want to get this car back on the road as soon as possible because I do not want to be caught without a vehicle when the snow does come. I'm not sure when this video is going to be uploaded in relation to my Vegas trip and everything, but you will see this before any of those videos. Make sure you're watching for those to be uploaded. They should be uploaded a little bit after Christmas. If you haven't already subscribed though, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss anything like that coming up in the future. We've got some great stuff planned for the channel, so you're also going to make sure you hit that notifications bell so you see the videos right when I upload them. This video is going to be somewhat of a how-to, but not really because I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I do know the basic concept of what I need to do on this car. I just haven't changed a power steering pump on a Subaru before. I imagine it's not really any different than anything else, but you know, car stuff, it happens. Between Tyler and I though, I think we can figure it out. Oh. Okay. The first couple steps are really just making room in the engine bay and being safe by disconnecting the battery because we are going to be messing with the alternator a little bit, and obviously safety first anytime you're touching anything. So we're going to pop this cover off, which I have already actually loosened the bolt. Then we're just going to pop off the terminal of the battery, and then this little intake scoop is going bye-bye as well. That exposes everything we need to get to for the most part, but we're still going to want to take off that intake scoop. I did kind of forget that if you have the cob intake, you do need to take off these couple bolts just so you can actually get this out. As you can see now, there's plenty of room to mess around in here, and I think we're ready to get started after we disconnect the battery real quick. Now that we got that taken care of, we're just going to loosen this bolt so that we can get the belt off. Now we're going to go ahead and loosen the other side of the alternator. With everything loosened and disconnected, as you saw, the alternator is free to just kind of be pushed down, and that'll remove pretty much all the tension on that belt, so you can go ahead and pop it off. This part may not be so much fun. I'm going to try and do this without removing this coolant hose. I've seen a few write-ups and videos that recommend draining some coolant with a siphon. I actually bought a siphon today to do it, but I'm just going to see if I can get by with it because that's a whole lot of headache that I really don't want to deal with. But the idea is to siphon off enough coolant from the radiator to be able to actually take this main coolant hose here and lift it up so that you've got a little bit more room to work in here. I'm just going to remove the power steering hoses and everything and stick the end of it in a water bottle to avoid mess and hope that's all I have to take off. Quick mid-video equipment change. I just remembered that my girlfriend got me this really nice little thing to do what this paper plate is doing. So hold on a second. Isn't that a lot better?
That's pretty cool. Gotta admit.
You may remember this little O-ring which we swapped out just a couple videos ago. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. Obviously now it's pretty useless, but if you have the problem that I'm having with the whining and everything, then maybe try this first because this is just a $4 or $5 fix if it works for you. From right here it starts to get kind of hard to show very well on video, but basically there is a bolt on every corner, one down here, and then one right back here that you have to get to before you can actually get this pump out of here.
I think you've got a little blood on you.
I don't think that's what it is.
What is it? The engine stick?
Power steering.
Dude, it looks like blood, I swear.
I did hit my finger pretty hard, but well, no, that's blood. So I picked up my wrench, and I thought that my hand was covered in power steering fluid, but it actually turns out that I cut myself sometime during that whole process. So I guess I'm going to go wash this off and get a Band-Aid or something. The last bolt on the back of the pump is actually really hard to get to, and I've seen a lot of people where they take off some other stuff, but I am actually going to try and get at it with a universal joint and see if we can't do it like that. If this works, I recommend doing it this way because it'll save you a lot of time. Okay, so we've basically gotten this thing taken care of. It's free in here. The only thing that's basically holding it in now is the banjo bolt. So we'll take that off real quick and then undo this sensor, and it's ready to come out. From this point, all we're basically doing is taking the old stuff from this pump and putting it on the new one. We've got the sensor here to remove and stick right here on the back of this one. We've got the bracket to mount it, and then we've got the pulley, obviously, and a couple of these other little miscellaneous brackets. But that's all that's left, and then this new pump is going to go back in the car. Okay, got everything transferred over. Got the little sensor, got the pulley, got the mounting. Everything's ready to go. So now it's just time to throw this new one in the car. The one thing I'm going to do, this pump came with a new inlet piece. The other one that's on the car that you get from the factory is plastic. I actually like this metal one a little bit more, so I'm going to use this one. So once this new pump is actually in, I'm going to take this off and install it on the hose just so it's easier and I can get it aligned. I'm going to pop this fitting off real quick and go ahead and stick this end of it in the hose before I get it on here, just so everything's straight and there's no stress on any lines or anything. The next step is to get out your torque wrench, because this banjo bolt that you took off earlier is going to be torqued down to 29 foot-pounds. Tightening this bolt adds tension to the belt, so just tighten this up until you feel a nice good tension on the belt, and then you can tighten up the alternator bolts that are holding it. If you made it this far without breaking anything too bad, then you're ready to put everything back together and get it all buttoned up and get your car back on the road. If at this point you have broken something too bad, then I don't know, maybe call your local Subaru dealer, and don't blame me because you didn't have to listen to how to do this. Now really the only thing that should be left is to hook up the battery and get it started up. Definitely make sure you don't forget to replace whatever power steering fluid that you lost though, because the reservoir is definitely not going to have as much as it did when you started. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you were able to learn something by me stumbling through this. But either way, thank you for watching. I will catch you in the next video.